Welcome back to Ben's Book Club. Today we are diving into the book Full Stack Human, the mindset upgrade you need to stay human in a world ruled by technology. We're kicking off this explainer with a really high-energy look at a critical, absolutely essential, mental operating system upgrade. This whole concept is based on some truly groundbreaking insights from authors Dara Simkin and Tāne. So if you've been feeling, perpetually behind, completely fried, or just like you're constantly running in survival mode, guess what? You are definitely not alone. Today we're going to explore why we need to upgrade the human, not just all those shiny tools around us.
Okay, let's dive into this structural menu that's going to guide us today. We'll start by diagnosing our back-end bugs in Part 1, the great evolutionary mismatch, and look at why productivity hacks are failing in Part 2. Then, we'll get into rewiring the human back-end using serious play, optimism, and dangerous curiosity. Finally, we'll lock in that human potential with the ultimate system reboot.
All right, Part 1, the great evolutionary mismatch. If you're a modern professional, you probably feel like you're just existing in a constant state of burnout and digital fatigue, right? But what if I told you this isn't a personal failure at all? It's actually a fundamental system error.
Welcome back to Ben's Book Club. Today we are diving into the book Full Stack Human, the mindset upgrade you need to stay human in a world ruled by technology. See, we are navigating a world that's moving at absolute AI speed. We're trying to process this endless, relentless stream of data and rapid disruption. To actually survive this, we need a completely new framework, which brings us right to the core thesis of this whole book.
To really get this framework, we've got to look at the developers behind it. We've got Dara Simkin, who's Australia's leading play-at-work specialist, and Tāne, a data scientist, futurist, and former cancer researcher. Talk about a fascinating clash of disciplines. You literally have evidence-based play interventions meeting bioinformatics and systems science. Together, they are uniquely equipped to help us rewrite our behavioral architecture.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core problem, the system meltdown formula. Just look at the stark mismatch here. We are running on biological hardware from the ancient savanna, meaning our nervous systems were built to predict simple, immediate threats. Yet we're operating within institutional frameworks that are basically medieval or archaic, and we're totally surrounded by a technological environment that is quite literally godlike and superhuman. So that deep exhaustion you feel, it's the inevitable result of this massive evolutionary mismatch. It is not a failure of your own willpower.
That brings us right to Section 2, why productivity hacks are failing. I want you to take a second and look at your current coping mechanisms. Ask yourself, are your go-to wellness apps and time management hacks actually fixing the problem, or are they just acting as a band-aid, masking a much deeper issue?
The authors make a super provocative claim here. They argue that the entire self-help industry, the wellness apps, hustle culture, this obsession with relentless optimization, it all only patches the user interface, the UI. These are just symptoms. What we desperately need is to rewire the back end, because that is where the root causes live. That's where our evolutionary wiring, our deep amygdala threat responses, and our systemic fatigue are actually running the show. We're trying to fix a deep structural glitch with superficial band-aids, and it just doesn't work.
And this brings us to a really crucial concept, achievement syndrome. The authors define this as a modern infection that turns us into productivity robots who've basically forgotten how to be human. Take a moment to really reflect on this one. Have you mistakenly started treating yourself like a machine that's just meant to be constantly optimized? We so often mistake exhaustion for achievement, and it is quietly, completely hollowing us out. So, how do we actually fix it? Well, that leads us to Section 3, rewiring the human backend. We're shifting gears now from just diagnosing the glitch in our systems to installing the actual structural upgrades we desperately need to function.
Let's move to Rise 2 and see how this builds a complete solution. Here is the 5-layer mindset upgrade. This is effectively the installation menu for our new mental operating system. It consists of serious play, strategic hope, meaning, dangerous curiosity, and adaptability. By addressing all 5 of these layers, we become what the authors call a full-stack human, completely proficient across our cognitive, emotional, and adaptive layers.
Let's zoom in on that first critical layer in Section 4, serious play as cognitive agility. Now, we need to completely challenge this rigid, survival mode notion that play is just some frivolous workplace perk. We aren't just talking about throwing a ping pong table in the break room here.
Serious play is actually a necessary cognitive tool for flexibility under pressure.
This is Dara Simkin's absolute specialty. Serious play is a vital mechanism we use to reframe problems, dial down our amygdala threat responses, and unlock creative solutions. So it's not just about boosting our moods, it is about keeping our brains agile enough to actually innovate when the pressure is on and the chaos is running high.
Moving right along to Section 5, Optimism and Dangerous Curiosity. How on earth do we handle the existential dread and the overwhelming pace of technological acceleration? Well, the answer lies in how we reconnect with our purpose and how we process the future.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the contrast between toxic positivity and intelligent optimism. Toxic positivity is blind, right? It dismisses real stress, grief, and systemic issues. But intelligent optimism, or what they call strategic hope, is an active, evidence-based discipline. It totally acknowledges the uncertainty and the chaos, but it chooses to actively shape better outcomes based on the data. Hope is a verb here, it's not just a hashtag.
Alongside hope, we need what the authors call dangerous curiosity. I absolutely love this phrase. Dangerous curiosity is the superpower of asking the unaskable questions. Think about it. In an era where AI and search engines give us instant, sanitized answers, this kind of curiosity forces us to break out of algorithmic echo chambers. It pushes us to probe the edge cases and uncover non-obvious breakthroughs that machines simply cannot see.
This brings us to our final agenda item, Section 6, the ultimate system reboot. How do we take all of these back-end upgrades, the play, the hope, the dangerous curiosity, and actually bring them into our daily front-end reality?
The strategy they lay out is what they call CTRL plus ALT plus adapt. The whole goal is building adaptability so you can bend without breaking. I want you to audit your own environment right now and figure out which layer of your stack is crashing. Are you physically depleted? Maybe you're informationally overwhelmed? Once you identify the crash, you can run 30-day micro-experiments. Don't go trying to overhaul your entire life all at once. Just test small changes to your routines to rebuild your capacity layer by layer.
So, the crucial point is this. Are you ready to stop operating like a machine and become more fully human? The ultimate goal of this mindset upgrade isn't to achieve more optimization or to hustle harder. No way! It is to preserve our deep humanity so we can actually thrive alongside technology rather than being hollowed out by it.
Subscribe so you don't miss an episode.